telegraphing to criminals that he's a soft soap. As I have said in the Senate, he's number 15 in Cashpot. Go and look up what number 15 is. He's as weak as number 15 in Cashpot. We go to the break and take the NPR news at the top of the hour. Appreciate where we're coming from in terms of where the person who speaks on national security for the parliamentary opposition, when he served just recently as national security minister, these were among the low points for him.
The ministry and so much, we're trying very hard at the ministry, and so much effort is being made, and yet so little headway, such slow headway is coming out in the statistics.
He says so much effort, listeners, so little headway coming out in the statistics. But we're seeing some headway in the statistics now. Good morning and welcome to the program, Kevin Obrien, Chang.
Can you get clearly at all for some reason?
Yeah, good morning. You hear me better now, Kevin?
Yeah, a little better, yeah.
Very well.
First to clarify, I'm Mr. Chang. Dr. Chang is the security minister.
No, I corrected myself.
And to clarify, we're not related. People doesn't tell me that.
Yes.
That's very clarified.
At least no known relations. Yes.
No known relations. Maybe way back in the, third, fourth, fifth, you never know.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a simple thing that is being proposed. Yeah, Mother's Day, the Wednesday before Mother's Day is Teachers' Day, right? And most teachers, there are some men, but the majority are women. And I get it seen as a way to, show respect to the level of the teachers and all that. And it's a great idea. Nothing at all wrong with that. I mean, it's a great idea. It's a good thing. So Father's Day now. The proposal is to make the Wednesday before Father's Day Security Forces Day to honor the soldiers and police. And again, there are female police and soldiers, but the vast majority are men, So I think it's just a natural thing to do because you honor the teachers who they're the future of the country, but why not honor the police and soldiers who keep us safe?
Because just to be clear, Kevin, Jamaica has National Heroes Day, and appropriately, in addition to the persons being awarded, there is recognition for meritorious service that is provided to the men and women of the uniformed groups, warders, firefighters, soldiers and policemen. But this is typically for persons who have service upwards of 30 years and 25 years and so on. Now, for the security forces in general, Heroes Day doesn't necessarily impact them because not only are they not recognized, really, they are not, there's no period to pause and specifically honor and salute them. And herein lies the prospect of what you're suggesting, which is a discrete occasion, a discrete day to observe and celebrate and affirm our hardworking men and women of the security forces, be they soldiers or police personnel.
Yeah, and I mean, now, don't disrespect the firemen, I mean, they're also brave, but the soldiers and police, they put their lives on the line. And there's a famous quote from Winston Churchill: courage is the virtue upon which all others climb. Right? And people can say what they want about the police, say what they want about the soldiers. Nobody cannot say that they're not brave. To go and put your life, people firing back at you trying to kill you, to keep the country safe. That is courage, and it's a thing that should also be respected. But from a historical perspective, the Jamaica Constabulary Force was formed in 1867, 2 years after the Morant Bay Rebellion, patterned after the Royal Irish Constabulary. And the goal was not to keep the masses safe from crime and all that, but to keep them under the feet of the colonials. Irish is a British colony, Ireland is a British colony too. Now, we're not condemning Britain as the worst colonialist ever. That's far from it. They may have been the best, but they committed sins.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. And it was that thing of oppression. And so for ever since 1867 up to well into the 2000s, police in Jamaica were seen as oppressors. We know the famous beastman Babylon. And that's a historical perspective. Between the Morant Bay Rebellion in 1865 and the 1938 Labour Rebellion, the biggest upheaval Jamaica had was 1902, the Montego Bay riots, which were sparked by police brutality. So it's a historical perspective. So historically, Jamaica saw the police not as partners protecting us, but as oppressors keeping us down. That last 10 years or so, that has changed dramatically. In one of the greatest cultural changes in Jamaican history, gradually, and all the police commissioners no doubt had a role, all governments had a role. But right now, I think it is quite obvious to everybody in Jamaica that the attitude of Jamaicans towards the police has changed. They are now seen as partners in crime. And one of the reasons crime is plummeting is because the average citizen now has more confidence in the police to go tell them stuff that's happening. In the past, if you tell police stuff, then they tell the criminal and they'll come kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are gone. We want them to go forever. We don't want to go back at all. And putting a thing like National Security Forces Day or Security Forces Day would kind of cement that kind of thing. Fontana, we're doing a little part. We are going to give 20%. We give 20% to the teachers on Teachers Day, and we're going to give 20% off to the police and soldiers on Security Forces Day. Maybe not official yet, but we are honoring it.
Yeah, or always given in the day. Yeah.
We're always giving them 10% too. But I think, and I would like to see other businesses do this. Salute their courage.
Mm-hmm.
That they're keeping us safe. And as I said, with murders down 42%, if you extrapolate the current murder rate to, I think, 257 murders up to May the 17th, extrapolate that 137 days, extrapolate that over 365 days, we're looking at 685 murders. Okay, imagine that? Yeah. Under 700 for the first time in 30 years since 1994.
In other words, if you were telling me this a year ago or even 2-3 years ago, Kevin, I would have told you that, well...
Fantasy land.
That's
I'm drunk or high. And I'm a rum and I'm a ganja. Yes, it's a madness. But we're seeing a transformation. Never have Jamaicans felt so safe for the last 30 years. Go on the streets and talk to anybody. I talk to people all the time. People have never felt so safe, and they're rejoicing in the sense of freedom to walk around. I mean, not saying bad things aren't happening.
Mm-hmm.
Not like we're perfect, not like we want to be. And we saw the tragedy of the little girl the other day, the tragedy of this lady who disappeared.
And it's Dilworth from UTEC.
Yeah, man. Yeah, things still happening, and condolences to all the families, but certainly things are better than what they were. The current murder rate, if you extrapolate it, is 24 per 100,000. We're coming from 60-something. The record is 2005, 63.
When we became the murder capital of the world.
Yeah, we're at 24 now. We need to go down. The world average is 6.5, about 7. The Latin American average, which probably is more realistic for Jamaica, being Latin America is the most violent region in the world, is about 16. So we still have a ways to go. But certainly, we have made fantastic progress. And when you make progress, the main thing is you don't want to go back. You want to entrench the gains. And this is one of the ways I believe. I have visions of National Security Forces Day of ladies going around and giving roses to policemen. My favorite policeman who helped me out and all that.
And all of us, we live in communities or in proximity to where there's at least one police station, so it would be good for us to have some kind of gesture of affirmation. Some people, it may be a cake, as we see some members of parliament doing, and for us, it may be some token of some kind that we bring to the police station and gift.
That's the one, the encouragement to labor,
Yeah.
Encouragement to labor. Police said, thanks for being so nice, and Mr. Officer, so brave and do it. It will encourage them to keep doing that way. It will encourage them to say, it's nice to be liked, right? So you continue it. You want to entrench and these gains and go forward. We don't want to go back to the bad old days. And I think the government I'm calling, you're a senator, sir. Why don't you raise it in the Senate? Why don't you raise that motion in the Senate? Say we want to make the Wednesday before Father's Day Security Forces Day. That's our Teachers Day.
I will move that motion next Friday, Kevin.
Yeah, power. Raise it, and I can't see how anybody.
I had conceived of moving the motion for the sex offenders register as well, but I'm satisfied based on some of the latest things I've heard that the government is already treating.
Yeah, man. But the sex offenders, we know there is the controversy that if you will put the list out, then people will kill them. I leave that to it's a national debate. We're a democracy, we have a national debate. The politicians can raise it and see how the members feel.
Well,
and all that. That's controversial.
This one is
I can't see the negatives. I can't see any negative security forces there. This is what would be controversial about it. You can't
because think about it, and I give the listeners an example, Kevin. When a construction project is going on and an error is made, the contractor or the engineer on the project can effect remedial action. When a administrative staffer at an office makes a mistake, they can go on the computer and press the back button or delete, as the case may be. For the policemen and women, their job often involves zero margin of error, because if a mistake is made by them in the line of duty, particularly in the very tough and trying circumstances under which they operate, they may well be cut down and taken out, as we have seen in the past.
Happens a lot of the time. Give me 12, I think the average is about 1 a month, I believe.
So the courage of these men and women really not to be overlooked, as you're highlighting.
As I said, the ultimate price a lot of them pay. They are, let's put it this way, they are the bravest men and women in the country. And I was, proving it every day, putting it on the line every day. Nobody else in the country does that. Yes, once in a while people have to do things that they are brave and all that, but these guys these men and ladies have to do it every time they are on operation or anything. And as I said, they are the bravest set of persons in Jamaica. That is unquestionable. Let us salute that courage.
Yeah. So,
and as I say, I come back to the historical, as I said, one of the great historical transformations in the history of the country. I don't think we talk about it enough. The massive change of the police becoming partners with the public. And as I said, a lot of the people, when you talk to them, it's true, but think about it, Even the police themselves may not be aware of it, the youngsters, But if the government sees it as the people in charge, who the people that run the country, connecting that to everybody. We have seen this change. We want it to continue. We want this partnership to grow and flourish.
I want to put a scenario to you, Kevin. There's a particular story and feature on the front page of the Gleaner this morning, because last week, myself and a team from Team JLP attended upon the Gleaner for a Gleaner Editors Forum. Subsequent to that, the PNP had a forum with the editors of the Gleaner as well. There's a story on the front page of the Gleaner this morning that says PNP rejects JLP's crime victory lap. And essentially, one of the paragraphs here says, the JLP's celebration of falling crime rates has not gone unchallenged. Just days after Chang's remarks, Bunting dismissed the government's narrative as both misleading and disrespectful to the Jamaican people. He is essentially charging that for a considerable period of time in the life of this administration, murders were high. So he's essentially dismissing what is happening now to being misleading and disrespectful. Your assessment of those observations, I don't know if you have had a chance to look at the Gleaners this morning.
Well, I would only say this. There seem to be some people who are totally out of touch with the common people. And it's one of the things I notice in Jamaica, when you talk to people, regular people on the ground, as I do all the time, because I like to feel the pulse of what's going on. And they hear the people at the top, the politicians, a lot of them, the human rights groups, they're totally out of touch. You talk to anybody on the streets right now, they are jubilant at how much safer they are feeling. people, it's like a sense, like a weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, man, like a sigh
the people are exhaling. Now, the victory lap, I agree, isn't too early for a victory lap because, hey, it's only 137 days after the 365.
Yeah, so the words, by the way. Yeah, because we're not doing any victory lap. We are focused.
But focused on the reality
not stopping at all.
Of the reality. And anybody who thinks Jamaicans are not feeling the fact that the murders are down and feeling that they're happier, they're totally out of touch with the people. And as I said, when people make statements totally out of sync with what the populace are thinking and feeling, it would only make them look, say, this man not don't talk to people. And it's a very strange headline indeed.
Yeah.
Where the government of the day, the opposition, gets precedence over the government. A very strange headline, and you don't often see that anywhere. Where the pushback is given more publicity than the actual announcement.
Yeah.
And listen, numbers do not lie. From 2015 to 2025, murders are down. The current rate 43%, over 40%. It was, in fact, probably about 48%. In 2015, 1,208 murders.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at this rate at 685. Right? In fact, that is not the reality of what we're looking at. From 1,208 murders in 2015, and the JLP took power early February 2016, and it's a current rate of 685, 45% roughly. No, numbers don't lie. And Horace Chang, his record as security minister is the best in the history of the country. When he took over, 2017, there were 1,647 murders. He took over in 2018, right? It's now 685. That's over a 50% decrease. Something like 60%, almost 60% down. Now, numbers don't lie. People can talk all they want.
Mm-hmm.
But the numbers are the numbers. Murders have plummeted. And Horace Chang, when they call him sleepy, he must sleep on this and that. When the murders are cussing him, you've got to give him his props now. All the people call him sleepy. Where are they now? and of course, above all, we salute the police. They are the ones carrying it. The politicians can talk the talk as a this and that. They walk the walk. And Dr. Kevin Blake and his brave men, they must get the bulk of the praise. Of course, you can't deny the people who give them the resources and
the legislative tools.
Like and the legislative tools. But you salute Dr. Kevin Blake and his brave men. Keep it up, gentlemen and ladies. And that's why I would like a national, salute them officially.
Yeah.
And thanks, we should, if this happens, Jamaicans should give thanks. They are the ones who made the people push back and say, no, we are with the police, we are with the men in blue. And if we have the security forces there, everybody should wear blue. This can be an official thing from the government.
That's
we
right.
should all wear blue to show that we are 100% behind the men and ladies who are keeping the country safe.
Indeed. All right, have to leave it there this morning, Kevin, just to point out to persons that your outfit, Fontana, will be offering 20% discount essentially to...
And I mean, the government doesn't go through.
Yeah.
Not to stop in private enterprise, people do from the same thing. So we do have to wait on the government.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so I look forward to you, Pat.
Yeah, man, I will move that motion, Kevin.
And anybody that passes it is a traitor to the country. I'll say it from now. Anybody that don't support the security forces is a traitor to the country that don't want Jamaicans feel safe. They don't value innocent lives.
Indeed.
Straight up, I'm saying it.
All right, very well. Thank you so much, Kevin.